So today I'm going to teach you how I make this soda tab choker, and if you don't have enough tabs for a choker, you can also make a bracelet too. So now as for what you're going to need soda tabs, obviously. The amount depends on how big your neck is. Guys typically have a bigger neck, I have found, so you're going to need a little more if you're making a choker. You're gonna need string. Now you can use whatever string. You could use like a thicker thread if you maybe wanted to do something colorful. You can use stretchy string. You could also use a ribbon maybe if you wanted it to be a little more like Lolita fashion, I guess. But I use fishing line because it is clear and it is stronger than the stretchy string, so my string is less likely to get caught on a ridge and break. So, and if you're using fishing line like me, you're gonna want these little clasps so you can actually get it on and off. So to start off, you're gonna cut your string double the length of whatever you're making. You're making a bracelet, I want you to double the length, and don't be scared to throw a little extra in there. Please throw a little extra in there. If you do it just the length of your wrist, it's not gonna end out too well. So double the length of your wrist plus a little excess. So what you're gonna start by doing is you're gonna put your little clasp on the string, and you are going to fold it in half and make sure that it is at the end. When you have it at the end, you're gonna tie it in place. So I'm gonna give mine a little twist like this. There you go. It's good to have a little bit of slack in this one. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to lay your project down, and you're going to take your two ends and separate them. You're going to go all the way down to your ends, and you are just going to slide a soda tab on there, one string through each hole, and you're going to pull it all the way through. Now you're gonna do the exact same thing again. Pull through another soda tab. Now to put the second tab on, make sure you put the same string at the top that was at the top and at the bottom as the bottom. That way they don't go in like that and they end up lining up like that. And when you go into this one, don't go in through the back like we did for the first one. You're gonna go in through the front and just pull it all the way through. Now that you have these two, what you're going to do is you're going to flip it so they're together, and you have this gap here, and you're going to put your strings through those gaps to sort of lock it in place. So first one through the top, okay? That's one. Now we do the same thing with the other one. We shift it to the side, and we go up through this hole. The only downside with working with fishing line is it tends to fight you back a little. So once you have that in, you're gonna flip this back around the other way. Then you're gonna take your string and you're gonna put on another one again. Like always, make sure you string it through the right holes so they line up. If you mess up, that's totally fine though. You can undo it and start and redo the one. There. Now, once you have this one on, you're going to string up this time. So you're going to go up through these holes. So up from the back. If you go in from the front, it won't work. probably kind of looks like a mess right now, but it's okay. It'll work out, I promise. Okay. Just grab a hold of your end if it ever becomes a mess like this, and pull your strings. So we're gonna add another one. With this one, your string goes up through the top of the tab, not the back. And we pull it through. Okay. Now with this one, you put it backwards, shift it to the side, and then put your strings through these bottom loops. And then once you have that, you flip this forward. There you go. Then you just continue to repeat that pattern until you have it at your desired length. So you should be able to kind of get the hang of it from here, but here's a diagram on screen in case you need to look at that while you do the rest of yours. I'm gonna go ahead and finish mine now. Just continue weaving it, and if you see sew tabs that have an edge that stick out like this, try to avoid using those ones or use pliers to flatten them down, because if you're making a choker, you don't want that pokey edge against your neck. It's not gonna be good. Once you have it at your desired length, what I like to do is I like to tie my strings together. Nice and tightly. Then I take the excess here, and what I do is I take my string and I like to go up through this. Oh, you saw nothing. Up through this. I was trying to go through the second one. Okay. Up through that. And now that I have this, I tie them together again with some more slack because I want my loop to stick out so that way I can actually clasp it together fairly easily. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get that loop in there, so if you need to, you can always grab a pen and put it right there and just tie it around it. That way you have your slack. Fishing line is kind of a pain to work with at times. Okay, so now that you have that slack in there to reach it out a little more, I'm going to take my loop and I'm going to put it through here. Then I'm just going to tie these strings together again to really lock that loop in place. Okay, then I'm just gonna cut my excess off. Careful not to cut the knot itself. Yeah, so that's basically it. That's how I made my little bracelet here. And like I said, same technique for the chokers, it takes longer because you use more tabs. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this made sense. I'm not quite sure. We'll see how it goes for you guys. But I'll see you in the next one. Bye.